Happy Halloween, everybody! We are getting ready for trick-or-treating. I've been kind of running around like crazy today. I'm watching a baby today for some friends and she's upstairs napping in the kids' room. Kaya had her Halloween parade, as you guys saw. I don't know if I can clip in a few of her parade stuff just because, you know, I don't like showing other people's kids. But if I can get a good shot, I will. Oh, it's been a long day already and I'm exhausted. I just got done recording a video. I did a video on the taco soup. I've made a video on this before, but it was very outdated and it was a really long video and it was really stupid. So this video is up right now and I promise you it's only a few short minutes. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm exhausted. Oh, I also made scotcheroos because I was craving them. Why are you excited to go trick-or-treating? Yeah, you're gonna be Captain America again? We're doing repeat costumes this year because A, we live in a different house and that means neighborhood. B, they still fit the kids.
And C,
because you wanted to. Because you wanted to use your shield again that Daddy made you? Show him your shield that Daddy made you. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, John made that for him last year. And then Kaya wanted to be Cinderella again this year. Can you do a nice little spin? Well, a slow spin. You have to do a ladylike spin.
like this.
Yeah, see, like Wyatt. Beauteous. It's 9:46. The kids were so exhausted from trick-or-treating. Wyatt was so good tonight. Like, he was so polite. Like, he made sure to walk around all the sidewalks and driveways. Like, he didn't run through them. He was very good about that, while everybody else was just like walking and traipsing through these like nicely manicured lawns. And he just was very like, I don't know. Everybody kept commenting. He's like, he's so polite. He's so like, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know where that comes from. I mean, we teach him what good manners, but I mean, have I yelled at him that much to stay off of people's grass that he actually listens now? But the kids got so much candy. Like, they got full bar-sized candy. Like, full-size, lots of full-size stuff. We came home and Wyatt is just like, he was sick last week. I don't know if I told you guys this, but he was sick last week. I got called at like, I think I told you guys, maybe I didn't. I got called on Thursday of last week from the school, and they were like, your son, the school nurse was like, your son came into my office today, and he said that he had a fever and he needs to come home. And I felt, he's like, and I took his temperature, and sure enough, he has 101.5. So I'm calling to let you know that he needs to be picked up. And so we picked him up, and he had a headache and a fever, and he just went straight downstairs or down here, I should say, and just slept for a long time and, you know, didn't have any nausea, no coffee, nothing. A little bit runny nose, but just a headache and a fever. And he was fine to go to his last soccer game on Saturday. He's developed a cough now, which everybody has. Like, everybody has it. My friends' kids have it. The whole preschool that Kai goes to has it. Kai had it. He now has the cough, and he just hasn't been feeling well. And I think running around and stuff. He also has asthma, technically. So that's not helping with everything. So he was running around a bunch tonight. And by the end of the night, he was, like, ready to go to bed. He was just like, I just don't feel well. And they're both, like, conked out right now. Like, this is the easiest time we've ever had putting them to bed. Oh, John's cursing upstairs. What happened?
What?
Why are you shitting?
Nothing.
What'd you do?
Nothing.
What'd you do?
It's just too hot.
Oh, why do men always pick up stuff that's too hot without mitts? Like, I literally, so something smelled like it was melting by the dishwasher last week, and I knew something plastic fell. John had, I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with John, but he was the one who had loaded the dishwasher and started it, so I knew that something had fallen, because usually John's the one who melts stuff on accident, like falls off the top rack. I could smell it melting. I'm like, what is that smell? I open it up, sure enough, my little top for my shaker, for my martini shaker, has like a plastic handled top, and it was on the ground of the dishwasher, and it was melting. And I'm like, John, don't touch that. Like, very calmly and loudly, I said, John, don't touch that. It's probably really hot. He reaches his hand in there, grabs it, starts cussing up a storm, and throws it into the sink because it's hot. I'm like, why did you just do that? It made no sense to me. And now he's picking up hot bowls out of the microwave. even burning himself. I don't get it. How is it Thursday night? I don't know where the time went. I've been so extremely busy all week with like a million things going on. We're helping my mom get her house cleared out for her to list, put on the market so that she can sell it. So that means moving a bunch of stuff to our house and finding places for it and getting rid of stuff. And our garage looks like a disaster zone right now. My friend's dad was in the hospital, so I watched her kids for her this week. It's just been crazy. And now John is putting up my nail polish racks. And I'm super excited. Our whole office / laundry room is a mess right now, so that's gonna be worked on tonight. I have a friend coming over tomorrow from out of town. It's actually one of the girls that I met up with at that Korean adoptee lunch that I had. So she's coming down and we're gonna hang out and I'm gonna do her makeup and her nails and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get this kind of like, I don't know, under control. It's so messy. Oh, you need me to mark again? John just got back from volleyball. They won 2 out of 3 of their games.
Are you sure? Alright, listen up.
Yes, where's the... I can't. Here's my
Good jobby. Mark it, dude.
Not level. Where are the thingies at?
They're in there. I don't know. They're behind the stuff. On the second shelf, and you're good at marking.
Shower so I can enjoy being near you again. This is not fun. Well, you put the table over it. Right against the wall. Okay.
Are you done?
Huh? 3 hours of John playing, or 3 games of John in volleyball indoor does not smell good. Does not smell good. So I'm actually watching Big Bang Theory reruns, and I am washing all my brushes right now. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I got a lot of stuff I gotta get done tonight because tomorrow Wyatt has his parent teacher conference. They haven't had school all week. Can I balance you guys here? No, I can't. Ava's parent teacher conference was tonight, so I met her dad over at the school. Nuna, get out of the toilet. And then tomorrow is Wyatt. So yeah, we just got a lot going on. It's 11:19 right now, and I was hoping to get to bed before 1 o'clock, which sounds really late, but unfortunately for me lately is not. He didn't even want the dog in the first place, but that dog likes him. I think there's a dog toy in his hand. So it's like 1:20 in the morning. I didn't get everything I wanted to done. I definitely didn't get to like taking care of my face whatsoever. Isn't that just so hideous? I don't know what to do about this, guys. Like, I don't know what to do about this corner. It drives me insane. I mean, it is the utility room. I've thought about maybe talking to John about kind of boxing it in and like doing some paneling. I don't know. I want it to be easily accessible, but then like it makes like this part of the room, which is all finished and nice now after we remodeled our house, just looks so terrible. I didn't get everything I wanted to done by making some major headway. We just paid for this room to be like redone and drywalled, and John put a freaking hole, not even a small hole, a huge hole in my newly drywalled wall. There's so much more room in here now that I moved my desk, which is kind of nice. See, isn't this just like so like, oh, it's like in your face? But it looks nice over here though. John cleaned up his area. And then my area, my friend will be here in about a half an hour. She just messaged me. But yeah, so that's what it looks like now. And I love that my racks are finally home. The kids are geeking out with John right now. What are you guys playing? Minecraft. It really likes Minecraft. Kaya, do you like Minecraft? You like watching Minecraft? You don't like playing, right? Oh. I am officially super pooped. So it's like, this is 7 o'clock. I don't know, sometime in the evening. I'm so bummed. I forgot to vlog while Stephanie was here. I was gonna like see if she'd be in one of the videos, and I totally forgot. And then we forgot to take a picture and everything, but it's fun. We got to hang out, and I got to do her makeup and give her a few sheet masks, and she brought me an orchid, which was so nice. And she brought these really neat beers. Like, I've never had these before, so these are called Puerto Rico's Ale Brewed with Coconut. So I love porters, I love stouts. I don't know if I've told you guys that before. I think I have. But this literally, it threw me off guard because it tasted, it smells straight up like coconut. Like, it was good, but every taste I was like, what is that? And I'm like, oh wait, that's coconut. But it was good though. It was weird. It's just like a weird good. So I'm exhausted though. I have a lot. I'm exhausted. I don't know. I'm very much an introvert, and I know that probably, I think I've talked about this before, and I know that probably surprises some people. Personality wise, I'm an INFJ, but I love hanging out with people. I love talking to people. I love just being out with people, but man, do I get exhausted afterwards. Like, I get exhausted. I need my, like, alone time. Like, I think that's why being a stay-at-home mom is so hard for me, because I'm constantly around somebody all the time, whether it's a kid or my husband or somebody else's kid that, like a friend's kid that I'm watching. Like, I think that's what's so hard, like, the hardest part, I think, for me is just that, you know, I need to just, like, escape and be alone somewhere to kind of regroup. Like, if you're an introvert, you get what I mean. My husband, on the other hand, is an extrovert. Same with my mom. So they get along really well when we lived together, because it was like they fed off of each other. John loves he gets energy from being around people. I, on the other hand, my energy gets exhausted. And it's not in a bad way. Like, I don't want people to think, like, oh, I should stop, like, I don't want people to think that, like, I don't like being around them or around people, but it takes a lot of energy out of me, and I need to kind of, like, recharge. My dad's the same way. I think that's why me and him have so much in common, kind of. But
briefings.
John cleaned off his desk. I already said that. His desk. He got a haircut, too. Show him your haircut, John.
No.
Why not? You look so good. So handsome.
But it's not very good.
So, is that your free haircut?
Yeah.
Why is it very good?
I don't know.
Well, we just don't have product in it. Where's the product I gave you?
You're really good.
Oh, yeah. Did you like Stephanie?
Yeah.
John didn't really get to hang out with her much. We kind of hung down here, and he
You guys just did your girly stuff.
We did girly. I'm going to balance it on a beer bottle.
Made makeup, and what else did you make?
I don't know what else we did. Ooh, so I just did, I filmed 2 videos. That's another reason why I'm exhausted. I get so tired talking to the camera. Like, I know it sounds so pathetic, but I get exhausted. How did I work in retail for so long? That's what I sometimes wonder. I used to get so exhausted after the holiday season, working like 70 to 80 hours a week. Anyway, so that's probably wrong. I think the most I ever worked was like 65. Something crazy like that. Like, we had to do overnights. But anyways, so I got sent these masks, which I talked about in the video that I filmed, my beauty haul video. But I got sent these by SNP. How cute are these? Look, there's like a dragon mask. There's a tiger mask. There's a very racist Asian panda mask. But it's by a Korean company, so I guess it's not racist if they're doing it. I don't know. A kitty mask. Whoop. A lion mask. A rabbit mask. A koala mask. And then an otter mask. So I'm excited to try these out. I don't know. They just look like fun. So, thanks SNP. But which one should I do tonight? I kind of want to do the otter mask or the rabbit mask. Although the kitty cat mask looks fun too. I am going to mask tonight and whiten my teeth because I didn't get to yesterday. But the downstairs looks a lot better. I think I already showed you guys the basement. But it looks a lot better. It's so much more cleaned up. Now that I did my video, I was able to like clean off my desk and stuff and get rid of all that and put it away. John's area looks so much nicer, and now it's just warm and cozy down here. So I guess I should do some laundry while I'm down here because I have some loads of laundry. Oh, and then the eyesore. What eyesore? That eyesore. Oh, your stuff's right here. I'll do your hair for you. That smells so good. It smells so good. It smells like the salon. Get the salon hair.
Okay. Why are you putting my beard?
I don't know, it just seemed like the right thing to do at the moment. I don't know, it's like when their man's hair smells good. I just like when you smell good in general. how nice it looks. It smells good. You smell good now.
Okay.
Smell like I do when I come home from the salon now. So I'm testing out these new lashes from Kiss Beauty, and I think I'm in love with them. I think I like them. I don't think I like them better than the Ardell's, but they're so different. They're called the blooming ones. So there's like 2 layers of lashes, and they look really natural, and they're really comfortable. What do you think? Do you like them? Yeah? I like them. So it's 8:31. What's today? What's today? Today's Saturday. We've had a pretty uneventful day, if anything. It was kind of a slow morning. We had some family issues that occurred last night that I'm not going to talk about online because it's really none of anybody's business. It's nothing serious. It's nothing bad. It's just, you know, being a parent type stuff. And it's just business that doesn't belong outside of the house. But because of that, I didn't really sleep last night very well. Everyone's fine and healthy and happy. Like, we all love each other and we're fine. But, you know, being a parent to a preteen sucks. I'll just say that. But because we had a super long night last night, we actually didn't end up doing the 5K that I signed me and John up for this morning because we couldn't leave the house. Long story again, but we didn't go. I'm kind of happy we didn't go. It was a run for like donation, like tissue and organ donation, which I totally support. You know, I know that being an egg donor is not the same thing as being an organ donor, but I do have organ donation on my driver's license, and I would be happy to donate my organs. I know it's not the same thing. Technically, though, eggs are, you know, my eggs were my tissue, but I know it's not the same thing, but I do support it. And, you know, I think that anytime you can give life, whether it's in an egg form or, you know, an organ or whatever form, I think that's great. So I really was looking forward to this run, and I found out that they were going to be doing this huge balloon release, and I already talked about this on Facebook, and I'm probably just being ridiculous, but I just hate balloon releases because even if it says that latex is 100% biodegradable, whatever, there's been tons of facts and scientific background that shows that they do not biodegrade for like years upon years. So they just litter the earth, and I don't know. In this day and age when we are like, I don't know, our earth is already so polluted, our waters are polluted, like, animals are dying, and, like, everything, like, in this day and age, it's just as stupid to me that people still do gender release balloon releases and hundreds of balloons released to celebrate a 5K. Like, I don't get that. And so when I saw that was on the sheet, I actually emailed the coordinator, and I said, like, I just nicely was like, you know, this is how I kind of feel about balloon releases. I didn't know if you knew about this or not, but, like, is there any other way that you guys could do something else other than, like, releasing a bunch of balloons? Like, why not use the money you're going to spend on the balloons to go back into, you know, the organ and tissue donor organization or whatever that the race is supposed to raise money for? Like, it just didn't make sense to me why they were spending money on stuff that could go to a better cause than polluting or littering, you know, our area. And she basically was like, well, this is what we do to celebrate life and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people like it. And I was like, you know, I understand that. I said, but I just think that there's a better way of doing it. You know, like, I don't know, setting off bubbles or I don't know. I feel like there's just a better way. Like, I feel like the 5K, if you're running the 5K, that's the celebration, you know? So, anyways, I basically was on the fence already about the fact, and I'd already spent $50 on me and John's registration, so I was really bummed about that. So, part of me was kind of like, maybe it was meant to be that we didn't run this morning, but the other part of me is kind of like, dang it, there's $50 down the drain. We didn't even get our t-shirts because we couldn't go to the early packet pickup on Thursday because Ava's parent-teacher conference was that evening. Like, so basically I lost out on a bunch of money and also our 2 t-shirts, but whatever. But anyways, I don't know why I was talking about that. I feel like that's like something that has gone on, so I'm like, you should know about it. I don't know. See, I forgot how to daily vlog. Yeah, so we had a rough last night. Being a parent sucks. Having a preteen sucks. What else was I gonna say? So I didn't know if I was going to talk about this part of, I didn't know if I was going to talk about this with you guys, but I feel like it's something that I feel like sometimes, you know, the internet is like a terrible place at times, and I feel like there's a lot of people who judge me when they don't really know me, and of course leave whatever, and there's trolls out there and whatnot. I do feel like with all of that, though, there are those people that shine through and that have really touched me in, like, amazing ways. And that sounded dirty, but that's not what I meant. But they've really like been a positive part of my life with their kind words or their suggestions or their support or things like that. So I'm going to talk about it. So we went to my son's parent-teacher conference. If you're new to my channel, I know there's a lot of you guys that are new here. I have 3 kids. One of them is just turned 4. She's in pre-K. One of them just turned 6 in the summer. He's in 1st grade. And then one of them is 11. She'll be 12 in February. So I don't really show my oldest child here. I don't ever show her, actually, really, because that's just me and her dad's personal choice of not showing her on the internet. I've actually shown Wyatt a lot less on the internet just because I don't like to overexpose my kids. My choice in being on YouTube to overexpose myself is my choice. It's not my kids' choice. So my youngest kids do enjoy being on camera, but Wyatt has kind of like, not so much anymore. So I don't push it. He's shown up less. Kai still really enjoys it, and she's still young. So I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. But I don't like to exploit my kids. And I sometimes feel like, whether people are trying to or not, I feel like some families on YouTube do that. And I just don't want to be that YouTuber. So you don't see my oldest, but she's around. And my son, you don't see him as much, but he's around too. But so I had this conference with my son's teacher on Friday, and this has just been kind of like the icing on the kind of shitty week I've had. But so if you guys remember, which a lot of you guys gave me crap in the past for, not because I complained about my son a little bit more than I complained about any of my other kids, because he's just always been a difficult kid since infancy. I love him to death. He's my only baby boy. Like, I love him. He's just the sweetest kid too, but he's just been a handful ever since he's been born. And I've always felt like there was not issues, I hate using that word, but I've always felt like something was harder for him. I've always felt like he's always had a harder time doing stuff. Like, he's never been a good sleeper since infancy. He's always been really sensitive to light or sounds or things like that. He's always had a hard time with transitioning from things. He's doing a lot better since we've kind of worked on giving him warnings. Like, I've really done a lot of research in trying to handle, high-spirited children. And one of the suggestions was like, making sure to warn your child an ample amount of time before you change to a different thing. So like a half an hour, I'm like, okay, it's time to turn on TV in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. I do a countdown, or it's going to be bedtime in an hour. Okay, it's going to be bedtime in half an hour. Give him enough warnings where he's like, okay, I understand this is going to happen. But sometimes life changes. You have kids. When we had a newborn, like, sometimes stuff changed and we couldn't give him warnings, and it would just be like the end of the world, and it would just be like tantrums for like hours on end, and screaming and throwing stuff and kicking and breaking stuff. And again, a lot of you guys gave me so much crap. You're like, oh my God, you don't love your son. All you say is horrible things. But no, I was just going through a really hard time with a really difficult kid. And it doesn't mean I don't love him. I mean, it doesn't at all. If anything, I love him a lot because all I want to do is help him, but I get frustrated. Parents get frustrated. So anyways, so on top of that, he's always had issues with sleeping. Like I said, he had issues with like eating certain foods, like real hard time moving to solids. Just a lot of things. Like, when he got his feelings hurt, it was like, I just feel like his moodiness was more than just like being a kid. And I thought that it would get better, and it has to a certain extent, because again, me and John have started to enact different methods and try to deal with him, and not deal with him. I hate that I have to like watch every effing thing I say because I know somebody will take it the wrong way. Me and John have learned how to do different techniques and methods to kind of help him with how to handle situations, and it's gotten a lot better. But there are still times where it's just like, and because he's older and because he's bigger, he causes a lot more damage. Though he's gotten a lot better. Now when he has tantrums, he usually will take them to another room. He's more aware of his surroundings now, so that he'll go into his bedroom and scream and kick and whatever. He's broken the door a few times, but he at least like goes into another room. You know what I mean? So he has gotten better. But there are still things like, I've noticed that when I talk to him or I would ask him questions or things like that, unless I made sure he was looking at me, like I'm like 2 eyes here, it would just be gone out of his head. And it's more than just like the kid who's like too busy playing. It's like he really just had a hard time listening to me. He would go upstairs after I'd send him upstairs to go do something, and he would forget 5 seconds later, come back downstairs. And I'm like, did you do it? And he's like, oh, whoops, And so again, it's normal stuff that like all kids do, but it got to the point, or it got to the point that I started worrying about it. And again, I've always really worried about it. I didn't want to push like diagnoses on my kid, but at the same time, like I just don't want my kids' lives to be harder than they have to be. So as a mother, I just wanted to be an advocate for him. So my pediatrician is just like, just keep an eye on him, whatever. He could grow out of it, this and that. You're doing a good job with what you're doing. Just, be patient. Just see how he goes and does in school and all of that. So you guys know he had a really hard time with his first year of school, and it had to do with just instances happening, his own sensitivities, and also the fact that they lost 3 teachers in 1 year for his class. So he really had a rough time. That's why we transferred schools. He's done really well in this new school. He loves it. The teachers love him. The principal loves him. Everybody loves him. He's a really easygoing kid. But at the conference, the teacher, basically after saying how awesome he was and how sweet he was and how he's the most polite kid she's ever met, basically said, got real, not stern, but serious, and said, he is probably the most disruptive kid in the class, though. He has a hard time sitting still. He has a hard time paying attention. He has a hard time with his schoolwork. He has the most unorganized desk I've ever seen. And again, it was just all these things that she was telling me then, like, that's how he is at home. Homework takes like an hour and a half, even though it should only take like 20 minutes with him, because I have to like get him to sit still, get him to stay in the seat. He falls out of his chair. Like, he fidgets so much that at dinner while we're doing homework, he fidgets and he falls out of his chair. And she said that he does the same thing at class. And she said that he's really smart. He's super bright. He's really smart. He picks it up when he puts his mind to it, but getting him to put his mind to it has always been really difficult. So probably 95% of you know where I'm going with this, but after hearing all of that, I looked straight at her face, and I looked her straight in the face, and I said, do you think my child has ADHD? Because that's always been a fear of mine, and I'm going to start getting upset. It's always been a fear of mine that maybe he was partly like, I don't know, like on the spectrum of like Asperger's or autism. But because as a 1-year-old, he was kind of like, didn't want to be cuddled or held. And I kind of worried about that, along with all of his moodiness and stuff. I thought maybe that was something that was going on. But but since then, I mean, he's super cuddly. He'll come up to you and just be like, can I cuddle? And can I hug? And he'll look you in the eye when you ask him to. And, I don't think that's the issue anymore. But the fact that all these other things are not really getting better, and they're actually kind of getting worse now that he's in more of a structured setting and he's in school, and that the teacher said like half the time he gets bad grades in school stuff, it's because he's too distracted to finish his work, and so then he runs out of time and it's empty. At home we're here to spend an hour and a half, like, do your homework, get it done, and all those things come back great. But at school, the teacher doesn't have all the time in the world to make sure he, to sit on top of him the entire, time, which it's not his fault or her fault. So he is doing really well in school, though. She said that he's doing really well. He's picking up stuff, compared to where he started, which was behind everybody else because of the situation at the old school. But she did say that she does think that he has early signs of ADD. Because I asked about the ADHD. She said, I don't think he's hyperactive. I said, but I do think he has the early signs of ADD. And I could tell she was really scared to tell me that. And that's why I just like flat out just asked her. Because no parent wants to hear that. Like, I know it's not like the end of the world. And there's nothing wrong with kids who have ADD or ADHD. But just no parent wants to hear that their kid might have a learning issue. So I'm happy that it's not anything worse. You know what I mean? Like, my kid's not dying. He's not sick. He's the sweetest kid in the world, and I know I'm really lucky and blessed that my kids are all relatively healthy and stuff. I'm sorry. I'm super emotional because of the other stuff that's going on with the kids that I don't really want to talk about here. But I know it's not the end of the world that he might have ADD, but it's just like, I don't know. You think something's wrong, but you hope it's not wrong. And then when you hear somebody else say it, it's kind of a relief because you're like, okay, I'm not crazy. But at the same time, it's like, damn it. I don't want my son's life to be harder than it has to be. And I don't know. So I was kind of hoping that maybe some of you guys could like give me some insight into where I go from here. Like, I'm already, the teacher suggested like, yeah, make an appointment with your pediatrician. And our pediatrician has known Wyatt since he was a baby, and she knows all these concerns. Like, it's in his file, like we bring it up, and she says, just keep an eye on it, And she's a really great doctor because she's kind of like more natural and holistic. So she's not one to like automatically push drugs, but she's not opposed to them. So I know that maybe I'm hoping that there's going to be some like alternative therapies that maybe we can do to help him. Like maybe it's not such a big deal. But like even like during his last soccer game where he was out and active, he's always fidgets. Like he's always constantly like moving his fingers or like doing this thing with his arm. And even at his last soccer game, when everyone's running around and he's active, he could not sit still or stand still. He could not like run without like moving some other extremity that he didn't have to, or he would get distracted where the ball's going somewhere and we're like, why go get the ball, you know? Or when he's standing there waiting for like somebody to throw the ball in or kick the ball in, he would be fidgeting. And when he watches TV or movies, he constantly has to be like moving around the room. So, well, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm a little distracted, but so I was just hoping that maybe some of you guys could talk to me about just where I go from here. Like I'm going to make a doctor's appointment. And again, I'm happy because I think she will be more open to talking about alternative therapies. But if he does have to go on drugs, like, I mean, I know it's for the best, and I'm not against that. Like, I know a lot of people are like, don't do that, whatever, and this is why I didn't want to talk about this on my channel, because I don't need somebody telling me what I should do for my son, because he's my son. But, like, if you've had experiences with them, like, I'd love to know, like, how you dealt with them, and if you saw, like, progress in your kids, or whatever, because I've heard some horror stories, and then I've heard some people who are like, my child is so much happier, you know, and doing so much better, and I know that, like, it broke my heart because, like, 2 months ago, I didn't talk about this, but 2 months ago, I was sitting there trying to do his homework with him, and he was getting so frustrated. He was getting so frustrated because he couldn't, like, I kept, like, getting frustrated with him because he wasn't, like, just sitting in his seat, and I'm like, Wyatt, come on, we only have 3 questions left, like, it's not gonna take that long. And it took forever, and the whole time he's just, like, I could tell he was trying, but he wasn't, like, he couldn't just, like, sit down and just do it. He just kept getting distracted. And finally, he just broke down and started smacking himself in the head over and over again. And he was like, I just can't do it, Mom. I don't understand why I'm like this. I just can't do it. And it just like broke my heart. And I'm like, I don't know. So I feel like it's time, right? Like, it's a time to address his issue and try to figure out where we go from here, because my son is at the point where he's noticing that stuff's harder, and it's like, I want to help him, but at the same time, like, you just hear all these horror stories about drugs and all this other stuff, and I just need to know that maybe it'll be helpful, you know, that I'm not just, like, sentencing my son to having this, like, label on him for the rest of his life. It's so hard because I know John's way more sensitive to it than me. He's way more defensive about it. I don't think it's not that he doesn't want to admit that there's a problem. I just think that he is sad and scared to think that there is one. And we, you know, as parents, we don't want to feel like we let our kids down. And that's kind of how I feel right now. I feel like by not getting him help or looking into it or trying something, I feel like I'm letting him down, you know, and I'd rather fix this now than have to deal with it later on when he's being held back a grade, or, you know, angry, you know, depressed because he's not getting stuff like the other kids are, you know. So if any of you guys have just some, like, positive stories to share with me, I would love to know. I would love to know if you're dealing with this yourself. Like, I don't know. So, yeah. And again, I debated sharing this here because some people are just so horrible. You know, some people are just so horrible and they say the rudest things. And that's just like something that I don't need right now, because I'm already struggling with a lot with dealing with a preteen. And now it's a lot to, like, I thought things would get easier. And it's just like, ugh. It's not one thing, it's another, you know? So yeah, that's kind of been our week, and why I've kind of been MIA with the day in the lives, because I've just had a lot on my plate, and my family will always come first before videos. And yeah, so if you have any suggestions, you know, or whatever, let me know. My friend was telling me about how one of our coworkers just put her son on, like, this new drug that's not supposed to have as much side effects. And again, I'm not saying that we're going to put our kid on drugs, but if it comes to that, like, I want to know my options. And so, I don't know. you know, but I want my kid to be happy, and he's such a sweet kid. Like, if you've ever met him in real life, he's just such a sweet kid, and he is really well behaved. He is. It's just like school and the transitions are hard for him, and I just, if I can help him in that way, like, I want to. So yeah, anyways, I was not expecting this video to go in this direction, but it's kind of like, I know, yeah, this is what's going on, and this is my real life. So yeah, and now it's got John thinking. He's like, maybe I have this issue, because I've always had an issue staying on point, you know. He's always, it is something that he's struggled with as well, and now he's like, should I talk to my, you know, my doctor? Like, should I figure this out myself? Because I don't like being that way either. I get why it gets frustrated, and honestly, a lot of me and John's fighting is because of a lot of his forgetfulness, but I don't know. So yeah, so if you guys have any, you know, helpful, enlightening tips, I would love to know that. But yeah. You don't really think about these things before you're like having a kid, you know. You're like, oh, the baby stage, and then people do tell you it gets harder, but you don't really expect that it's like this hard, you know. Like, and again, I know a lot of people are struggling with worse things, but for me, this is what I'm struggling with now. So I'm trying to handle it, and I'm sad about it, and I'm looking for just some guidance in it, kind of. So yeah, anyways, that's what's going on. But I'm editing a video right now. The kids are in bed, and Nuna's down here, I think. Is she down here? Where'd she go? Oh, she's not over there. She's over there. I went to Sephora with one of my girlfriends. She called me. I had a 20% off this weekend. So we went there, and I took back some stuff that I got for my birthday and exchanged it for 2 other things. And then we went to Target, and I bought a bunch of stage 2 learning books for Wyatt. The teacher said that his reading's a little bit behind. So, you know, spending like 20 minutes a day with him reading will be really helpful. So we usually do about 15 minutes, and so, you know, an extra 5 minutes is not going to be that big of a deal. So I got him like 5 different, like, you know, just like books that would be fun for him to read, you know, that he likes, like, you know, Paw Patrol, Marvel, the Avengers, Star Wars, stuff like that, in hopes that maybe it would make reading more fun for him when we do it every day. And then I came home, and yeah, so now I'm editing 2 beauty videos, and then I'm talking to you guys, and yeah, I'm gonna, I think, change my pajamas though and wash my face off, because now my makeup's like a mess, and do a face mask, because I've been wanting to do a face mask and whiten my teeth for like 3 days now. So yeah, but God, how long is this video? This video is so long. I'm sorry, guys. I just needed to vent. I needed to just like let it out, you know? You can only like let out stuff around the people around you so much, so then you're like, well, who can I let it out on now? You guys. Aren't you lucky?